I recently went back to the office after almost 6 months to pick up a few things, and I also picked up my tech writing notebook. And flipping through the notebook made me realize how messy my writing process actually is. And I've made a whole series about my tech writing process, but I don't think it really captures how messy my thinking process is. So I thought it would be fun to flip through the notebook and talk through a few things so you can get an idea of like the messy side of tech writing. So to start with, this is what I call open loops. This is a concept from Getting Things Done. It's one of my favorite productivity books, and the idea is to jot down everything on your mind on paper so that you can prioritize it and work through it. And this is a system that works really well for me. My brain dump for a project that I was working on at the time, to-do list of like people to talk to and things that could possibly go into the guide. And I've noticed that my notes are pretty color coded and they're very visual. So this is again brainstorming another project, and this is me trying to brainstorm the troubleshooting guide that I worked on, and then I had 2 sessions with 2 different subject matter experts. This is me trying to figure out how security and certificates work with CockroachDB. This is me being frustrated about not being able to figure things out, but I figured it out eventually because I did write the docs for it. This is the most frustrating yet the most rewarding project I've worked on so far, the Kerberos project. Basically started off with just getting a prompt of we need to document the Kerberos workflow, and I had never heard that word ever in my life. So that was step 1, is Google Kerberos and figure out what it is. These are my notes from the project when I was reading about it and researching it and googling it, and then I kept on it. And then, like I said, my notes are very visual, so I think in terms of like processes and diagrams and how things connect together, and then once I have that, then I can map it into words. Up till here it is my research, and then starting here it is looking to the research of the subject matter expert, in this case the product manager. So I did my research, he did his research, and then we compared notes, and then these are my questions that I had for him based on his research, and then we met up and figured out the answers to these questions. Based on that research we came up with a testing plan. This was his testing plan, and then based on it I came up with my own testing plan. So basically, to write about something, I have to test it and I have to set up the environment that replicates or at least kind of tries to be as close to as the customer environment, so that I can get a better idea of the customer mindset, and then I can figure out what exactly they need to know. So we come up with like Docker could be a good replacement for the enterprise infrastructure. So then finally I had all the pieces together, and then I could come up with the testing strategy, and then this testing strategy is what turned into like the first rough outline for the document. So that was like a very stressful yet a very rewarding project. And this is me trying to figure out the next project, which is security for Cockroach Cloud. Again, trying to work through the user experience, the things that the user would do, and how Cockroach Cloud would fit into that workflow. This is what I needed to document. The idea was that this is the simplest use case, and then these are the 3 scenarios that the user could implement to use the connection string. And I was trying to figure out how these parameters would be different for each of the use cases. And once I figured it out, then I realized that I need an end-to-end tutorial that kind of goes through all 3 scenarios. This is me trying to figure out the information architecture of the Cockroach Cloud documents. So I brain dumped all of it. I created an outline, and then I tried to move things around to see which would make sense, and then I numbered them in the new order that I wanted it to be in. Then yet another frustrating project that took a very long time to figure out. So I was trying to map out the different components of the system that would affect performance, and then figure out what metrics the user might find useful to monitor that performance, how the metrics correlated with each other. The idea was to come up with concrete numbers. So this is where my number crunching began, and it got super messy because the numbers did not match. All calculations wrong because I don't know why. But I did find an actual bug in the system, which is what was messing with my numbers. And once I realized that, then I reported that to the team, and then the team fixed it, and then we solved the issue. So the final outcome was productive. It's just getting there was not a very great experience, but that's the life of a tech writer. This is when the pandemic hit, so I left the notebook at the office and I couldn't pick it up because we went into lockdown, which is why I moved over to my iPad because I thought that was a good quarantine skill to pick up, digital note taking. So I kind of wanted to try that out. I really like the more colorful aspect of things. These notes are not as messy because the Apple Pencil lets me crop it and move things around, so I don't have to rely on like scratching things out. I can use the eraser function, or I can use the cut and move function on the iPad. So my iPad notes turn out to be more organized, even though the process is equally messy. And yeah, I hope this was interesting, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.